Aren't you glad you talked this guy in here?
Oh, no. You talked to him.
I talked him into it. I talked you in here.
That's right.
Hey, good to meet you. We're going to get you to and him if he was younger. Pry him out of the house. But we want to get y'all involved in the chapter. We meet over at Springhouse Road at the Asbury Methodist Church. We'd like to get you involved in the organization. That's right. Because we need young blood. JR, who's the president, is 26 years old. He's the youngest guy in the place. We'll talk to you later.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Reading and Northern Railroad. My name is Matt Fisher, Senior Vice President of the Passenger Department. We invite everybody on the train today. You know, a lot of friendly, familiar faces riding with us, some employees, and a lot of volunteers as well. So welcome to one and all. We would like to thank the railroad historians of the Lehigh Valley and the Lehigh Valley chapter of the NRHS for making this trip happen. This is the 5th Railroad Explorer trip we're doing together. Thank you again for Lehigh Valley chapter providing the help on this trip. If you need anything for us, the Scranton Bridge and the Nesquehoning Bridge as well, with a couple of still photo shots and a few photo run-bys as well. Again, thank you for riding with us today, and we'll hand it back over to Larry to continue the narration.
February 2020. It allows the Reading and Northern Railroad a progressive move between North Reading and key points north, such as Penobscot.
Roger, we're up 4DR104 and 4DR105, both 4Ds canceled 0911. Today's date April 26, 2025, dispatcher ADS.
It's cooler out. Yeah. RDC, I'd be a few miles back, yes.
Now, so
Yeah, let's get this over with.
nothing gets sent off.
You know, it doesn't hardly rains in like the last year and a half. It's like
The last 2 weeks. Today's been the only rainy day in the last 2 weeks. Heat is the rain.
But you need to add that to your bucket list. Run a marathon. You need to run a marathon. Add that to your bucket list.
My body's beat up enough that it's funny, I didn't get any rain at all until I came up to the Lehigh Tower this morning.
Overnight it rained a little in Lansdale, but it wasn't like puddle rain.
Right.
It was just damp.
We are now approaching another sharp turn on our railroad, and this is known as Oxbow Curve. It was named by voters of the Lehigh Canal for its resemblance to a yoke that oxen used to pull wagons. The curve forms almost a half circle, and about halfway around the curve, we pass underneath what appears to be a footbridge, suspended above the tracks and the Lehigh River, and spans approximately 365 feet. If you were to ride one of our popular bike trains, this is where you would begin. 60 to 25-mile downhill from Whitehaven to Jim Thornton.
Ladies and gentlemen, just want to make a couple of brief announcements here. Number one, thank you for your cooperation at the photo runway, photo stop, and train runway. Our next photo stop will be on the Taylor branch. We will be making a service stop in Pittston to load the luncheon. In the snack bar or in the city portion.
A station stop on our popular weekend excursion trains operating from Pittston and Jim Thornton. Leaving Penobscot, the railroad and Route 437 are snaking around a portion of the mountain known as Penobscot Knob. Those identifying features is the array of television and radio transmitter towers situated at the top. The knob and its tower for miles. and especially you can see them lit up at night. Route 309 has appeared to running left as we narrow to a single track railroad at Southern Gap. Here we begin to descend into the Wyoming Valley.
Now, does anyone think of the sequence of 713 running in? I mean, I wouldn't be kid's lifetime if I had to. Maybe. Yeah, because I got the 2102 video last year.
Approaching the Route 437 overpass in the appropriately named community of Mountain Top. Notice the former New Haven caboose put the running left side and eventually came under Reading and Northern's ownership and was in turn donated to the Mountain Top Historical Society in 2020 as a symbol of the railroad's significance in the area. It has since been renamed, known as the Lookout. Look to the running left and you will be overlooking the city of Nesquehoning. However, if you wish, you may turn your seats to face the opposite direction during this stop. If you require any assistance, one of our car hosts will be happy to help.
Ladies and gentlemen, when our train comes to a complete stop, our engineer, as Larry said, will be changing ends. Please keep the center aisle open for him to go through from one end to the other. Thank you.
Over on our left is a train going up the Taylor Branch. Maybe you got a few pictures out the window. We are now heading up the Taylor Branch, and we pass through the trestle, and once again find beneath us the winding Lackawanna River. The Lackawanna is a tributary of the Susquehanna River and is 42 miles long. Much like the Lehigh and Lackawanna River, it is a popular fishing destination.
get there, he said the engine will be in the engine house in St. He said, we'll never be on the contract. He said, Freeman might be around 65. I'll run a guard.
know?